Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson. No doubt, it's very obvious that we live in an age of social and political divide, and maintaining friendships really has never been more challenging. Joining us now is keynote speaker and author of Build Your Village, Florence Romano. She's got some advice on, I love this, the art of agreeing to disagree. Welcome, Florence Ann, and we welcome you back to Daily Flash. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Do you think people even know how to do that anymore?
Right?
People used to. I don't know. I feel like we need to get back to it. So thanks for having me on to talk about
I
it.
think it's extremely important. And, we surround ourselves just by nature with people that are like mind. And
Sure.
while there's probably nothing really wrong with that, it's the exclusion of people that might think a little bit different that really
Right.
is where we grow. And it's very, very important, and especially now more than ever, given the current events. So you say you have 5 tips for us on how we
Yes.
can respectfully have a discussion with someone who may have a little bit of a different view than maybe we might
Right.
have. Let's start with the first one.
Right.
You say it's got to be safe, right?
Creating that space for disagreement. I really believe in setting shared intentions from the jump. Say out loud to the person, I'm here to understand. I'm here to be curious, not to win. Establish those ground rules. Maybe that rule is there's no cussing, there's no attacking one
Okay.
another's character. Acknowledge those feelings and not just the facts, because everyone does operate within a different value system.
Oh, I love that. I mean, that's basically you're setting the foundations, just like any sport has rules. You're sitting down and you
Right?
say, look, I want to have a discussion, but I don't want this to happen. So if it's
Yeah.
on everyone's mind, at least you'll also probably won't say as ignorant remarks because you're keeping those things. So if you think about that, I imagine, right? The second tip is
Exactly.
the importance of self-reflection in relationship building, meaning we look at what we're doing, or explain that.
We do have to look at what we're doing, but I also like to focus on people pleasing because I think everyone happens to be a people pleaser. I always say I'm a recovering people pleaser. I probably will be for the rest of my life, but people pleasing can affect your self-esteem, it can affect your personal growth, and then you start prioritizing other person needs over your own, and that hinders your growth. It leads to resentment, it leads to burnout. And in many ways this people pleasing can really affect how we engage one another. So we don't want to do away with our value system. That's not what we're trying to do here as we have these conversations. It's just knowing thyself and understanding that your own well-being, your happiness, all of that matters, but so does the other person's. So making sure that you're leading with that type of ethos and that personal navigation system is going to help set you up for success.
We are taught to be respectful. We're taught to, make sure other people, we're not being rude and that sort of thing. And so I could see how more and more people think that. And we also, the only time we grow is when we're uncomfortable. Should we be
Yes.
uncomfortable when we're jumping into a conversation like that? Or should we, a level of uncomfortability?
No, it's okay to be a little uncomfortable, and that things change on the other side of that. And I like to pay attention to the nonverbal communication. To be honest with you, take it for an Italian who's like wildly gesticulating all the time, and my face doesn't always have the best poker face. But think about your body language. Think about your facial expressions, your tone of voice. I know there's people out there that are thinking, Florence, why should I have to censor myself? Just let me be myself. Why do I have to do that in order to have these conversations? Well, you have to set the stage for people to let their guard down. They're not going to do that if they're sitting there all disgruntled and mean and grumpy about it. This is where emotions can get out of hand. They can get the best of you. Because remember, your feelings are never wrong. It's your reaction that
Yeah,
can be
there
wrong.
you go. And I suggest keeping any kind of technology away from you if you want that, because even if like I'm looking at something and that 1 second, oh, he's not paying attention. I mean, that's that nonverbal if you think about it. So that's excellent. Your next tip is using empathy to diffuse tension. You're going to have to give me some examples of this.
Well, funny, when people think about empathy, they think it's okay, I have to put myself in that other person's shoes. I really have to figure out how they're feeling. And yes, that goes to a certain extent, but you don't have to agree in order to validate. That's the important piece of empathy. You can say, I can see how that might be difficult for you. I can see how you're feeling. I can see that from your perspective. And it reassures the other person that they're being heard, even if their viewpoint differs.
It makes you look better. It makes you. This is everything you've said is leadership qualities. Am I right? I mean,
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'll take that as a big compliment.
it is. Because
It's
whether if we want to or not, we're all going to find ourselves, whether it's a sit down, we know it, or just dealing with other
right.
people. I'm sorry, you were speaking.
No, 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 not at all. It is important to think of it from that perspective of leadership. I like that because you are trying to set the stage for something that's hopefully going to be productive and maintain your relationship. If you're talking to someone that is important to you, that you
Uh,
love, then let's make sure we are setting the stage to set that up for success so you can preserve the relationship. And that leads me to the last point, which is finding neutral activities to strengthen bonds.
yeah.
And I know this is going to sound funny, but it's true. Sometimes the answer is you're just not going to go there. You're just not going to have these conversations. I have had friendships, Mitch, for 30 plus years where I have never had a political conversation ever. We've done other things in our lives. We've had other conversations. And so it doesn't have to go that way. You don't necessarily have to have these conversations. It has to be mutually agreed upon if you are going to go there. And if someone starts with you and you do not want any piece of it, you can respectfully tell them that you don't want to have the conversation. You can say what you mean without saying it mean. And there is nothing wrong with you setting that boundary as well.
Love that. It seems that when I have 4 kids, and so when we get talking about stuff, it's somehow it'll start edging closer to that political. And sometimes
Mhm.
we don't agree on a lot of that. And I know they're my kids, and I just go, you know what? I'll just listen to what you have to say. And sometimes I'm like, am I listening or am I just letting them talk? And I find when I'm listening that we grow a bond together. So I love that.
Yeah.
This is great stuff, man. And you can actually get more information and how we can make this place and this world so much better. For more information on Florence Ann and also get a copy of her book, check out florenceann.com. We'll also have links on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI. We have more Flash coming up. Doing a little bit of screen chatter and having more of today's trends. Tomorrow's talk right here on Daily Flash. It'd be very respectful talk, I'm sure.